So let's go straight into the debt market. Let's have Chema Udu, who is a fixed income dealer at GT Bank, speak to us from FMDQ Exchange Place. Good morning, Chema Udu. It's good to have you on the show.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Great. Yesterday was a great day for all of you trying to listen in and make some sense, get a sense of where the Central Bank Monetary Policy Committee folks were going to do. So rates are going to be unchanged, but it looks like the Central Bank chief spoke a bit extensively, trying to get everyone to understand the use of monetary policy tools moving forward for your market. What's your take this morning, speaking the minds of the rest of your colleagues at the debt market?
Okay, I mean, the outcome of the FTC was expected. We expected that they're going to leave all the indices as it were, MTR at 13.5. Coming to the market today, there's still some bullish sentiments in the market where we've seen a lot of pressure, especially at the short end of the curve. Rates are currently trading at 10%, 10.5, and to the lows of 8% discount on the short end of the curve. But however, the good news today is that we have a bond auction where for 140 billion is on offer.
The DMO July auction is 145 billion. Any other auction today? Yes. Is the central bank hitting your system, the system with any other PMA or an open market operations?
I don't think there's going to be any open market operations today because of the 145 billion on offer today. We're going to see a lot of interest in that auction because there's not a lot of assets for us to invest in. You will notice that this week, there's 60 billion coupon payments into the system. So we have 60 billion for us to find a place for a reinvestment. However, speaking to the OMO, 90 billion of OMO assets is maturing tomorrow. We don't think that there's going to be an OMO auction because strength isn't very liquid. We've seen outflows from FX and wholesale retail, and then we've seen system liquidity. Yes. Billion. So we don't expect any auctions tomorrow.
A quick one. This is midweek. Liquidity is going to be a bit heavy. Is that what's your outlook on yield curve between now and Friday when we technically wrap up the week?
For this week, we don't expect any inflows. However, we're going to see more of outflows because of the bond auctions we're going to have. However, speaking to liquidity, we expect market flows next week. So we're going to see liquidity trickling into the system from next week.
Next week is when we wrap up the month of July. So thank you so much, Chema Udu. Do have a great day. We appreciate your time joining us on the show today from GT Bank, fixed income dealer.
Thank you, Watson.
Thank you so much, and to all of you at FMDQ Exchange Place. Just as we continue staying with the market, we have a new information coming through from FBN Holdings reporting to the Nigerian Stock Exchange as a listed financial supermarket. FBN Holdings says yesterday that is First Bank of Nigeria Limited, the largest subsidiary of FBN Holdings PLC, says it has paid $450 million debt of 8.0% note, which was due July 2021, to investors earlier than expected. This was taken in 2014. The note at 8% was issued to investors globally in 2014. Now, First Bank says it has repaid this money to investors, $450 million US. The bond was to mature July 2021, 2 years ahead of time. The bank says it has called this subordinated note and has paid it. According to this two-paragraph statement, says the redemption of the notes has been done, endorsed by the Central Bank of Nigeria, approved by the Central Bank, done at par from First Bank's internal foreign currency liquidity without refinancing. That's what the bank says. Central Bank has repaid $450 million bond back to international investors 2 years before the bond matures in July 2021. But let's get back into the equity market. Temple Ashaju is back with us at the Nigerian Stock Exchange. Temple, good morning. Welcome to have you at the end of the show.
Good morning, Bolton.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a very heavy day for us here. So bring us up to speed. Yesterday we had the new ministerial list from Mr. President, and then the stock market took a very big jump, 1.21%.
Yeah, basically, just like every analyst has been saying, is that they expected the list to be out and the list is here now. That's the reason why we saw some kind of a reaction to that in the market yesterday. Again, because some investors are quickly taking advantage of the low prices in the market and the fact that H1 Q2 numbers are beginning to trickle in. They are beginning to see signs that some banks or some companies in one way or the other will have to pay some interim dividends. Just like yesterday, Zenith Bank, released a notice to the stock exchange that the board members are meeting to consider the approval for some kind of proposed interim dividend. So put these two together were the key reasons why we saw the market experiencing some 1.21% gain yesterday, where we saw over 160 billion naira added to the equity capitalization of the exchange, Bosun.
Zenith Bank will be closing the market today. So what do you expect to, do you think this is very coincidental, as it were? Most likely, Zenith Bank half-year and Q2 numbers are not likely to be any days far from today.
Sure, Bosun. I mean, they're bringing in their new CEO, Mr. Ebenezer Onyeagu, to be introduced to the traders here on the floor of the stock exchange. And of course, it will help them to ask a few questions to know the direction that he wants to take the company to. How sustainable does he want to continue with the policies of the bank? Because this is an A-list bank in Nigeria. This is a premium bank here on the exchange. Was one of the companies that actually ended fairly positive yesterday, given the low prices that we've seen it trading at for some time now. So you see, of course, some kind of reaction from the broker-dealer community, basically trying to understand what's next from him. How does he want to sustain among both direction of the company and, of course, that of Jimovia, basically, and that of Emefiele, the predecessors of Zenith Bank in Boston.
FBN Holdings is also in the news. I'm sure you were aware they repaid the $450 million yesterday. Sure. This debt, I'm looking at FBN Holdings right now, 1.7 million shares of the bank, of this financial supermarket already traded. We don't know what the shares will look like today. This is something you'll be watching for today, isn't it?
So sure, Bosun. I mean, if you check from yesterday, perhaps some folks have gotten hints of that. Yesterday, FBN Holdings trading at some 5 naira 60 something kobo, actually notched up against some 0.88%. That's a positive for FBN Holdings. Everyone, not only FBN Holdings. Now you see a lot of companies are beginning to deleverage their foreign debt as well. That is possibly because a lot of the international central banks are beginning to be dovish in their policies, in their monetary policies, and of course these local lenders and the companies are trying to take advantage of that opportunity before the FOMC of the US Fed, kind of hikes their rates. So it's better to quickly take advantage of these dovish period of policies coming out of these central banks to settle all of these debts, and that will be a plus to all these companies eventually. By way of reaction, we are expecting the trader community here to basically react positively to it.
Yes, Temple, this is big. This is one story we'll keep pursuing. This is big. If First Bank can pay $450 million from his internal foreign currency portfolio, that's big. Very huge. Temple Ashaju, thank you so much. Our business correspondent at the Nigerian Stock Exchange. We'll get back to you tomorrow here on the show, Your Business Morning, live from here.